10 Tips to Boost Your Communication Skills. Hello everyone, welcome back. I hope you're all doing amazing today. I'm so glad you're here because what we're about to talk about can truly change your life, your communication skills. You see, communication is more than just talking. It's about connecting, understanding, influencing, and inspiring others. Whether you're trying to impress in a job interview, give a great speech, make new friends, or simply express your thoughts clearly, strong communication skills open the door to success in every area of life. So today, we're diving deep into 10 powerful tips to boost your communication skills. And not just basic advice, but detailed, practical examples that you can use every single day. Ready? Let's begin. Tip 1. Listen to understand, not just to respond. The first and most important key to great communication is listening. Most people listen to reply. They're already forming their answer, while the other person is still talking. But true communication starts when you listen to understand. When you focus completely on what the other person is saying, their tone, their feelings, and their message, you make them feel valued. For example, imagine you're talking to a friend who's sharing a problem. Instead of jumping in with advice or interrupting with your own story, try this. Maintain eye contact. Nod to show you're engaged. And once they finish, say something like, "I understand what you mean. That must have been difficult." This shows empathy. And empathy is the heart of good communication. When you truly listen, you learn more, respond better, and build trust. So next time you're in a conversation, don't just hear words, understand the meaning behind them. Tip 2. Master the power of body language. Your body speaks louder than your words. Studies show that over 70% of communication is nonverbal, meaning your gestures, posture, and expressions communicate more than your voice. If you want to be a confident communicator, you need to align your body language with your message. Stand tall, maintain a relaxed posture, and use open gestures. Avoid crossing your arms. It can seem defensive. When you talk, smile naturally and make gentle eye contact. For instance, imagine you're giving a presentation. If you look down or fidget with your hands, your audience might sense nervousness. But if you stand confidently, move with purpose, and use your hands to emphasize points, your message will instantly become more powerful. Also, remember your facial expressions matter. If you're discussing something exciting, let your face show excitement. If it's something serious, keep a calm, thoughtful look. The key is authenticity. Your body should reflect what you truly feel. When your words and gestures are in harmony, people trust you more and connect with you easily. Tip 3. Expand and enrich your vocabulary. Words are the tools of communication. The more words you know, the more precisely you can express your thoughts. However, having a rich vocabulary doesn't mean using complex or fancy words. It's about choosing the right words for the right situation. For example, instead of saying, "I'm mad," you could say, "I'm frustrated," or "I'm disappointed." Each of those words carries a slightly different emotion and gives your listener a clearer understanding of how you feel. To build your vocabulary, read regularly, books, articles, or even motivational speeches. Whenever you encounter a new word, write it down, look up its meaning, and try to use it in a sentence that day. Over time, your speaking and writing will become more dynamic and confident. You can also practice by rephrasing sentences. For example, instead of saying, "That's good," you could say, "That's impressive," "That's remarkable," or "That's excellent." These variations add color and personality to your speech. Remember, language is your instrument, and the more you practice, the more beautifully you'll play it. Tip 4. Speak clearly and confidently. Clarity is key. No matter how powerful your message is, it won't matter if people can't understand you. To communicate effectively, you must speak clearly, confidently, and at a steady pace. Avoid mumbling, rushing, or using filler words like or like too often. A great technique is to record yourself speaking and listen to how you sound. Notice your tone, speed, and pronunciation. Do you sound confident or hesitant? Are your sentences too fast or too slow? Practicing like this helps you identify areas to improve. For example, think of motivational speakers like Steve Jobs or Barack Obama. They don't rush. They pause at the right moments, emphasize important words, and maintain a confident tone. You can do the same. Slow down a bit, pronounce words fully, and use pauses to let your message sink in. Confidence also comes from preparation. If you know your topic and believe in your words, your voice will naturally project assurance. Remember, it's not just what you say, it's how you say it that makes people listen. Tip 5. Be aware of your tone and emotions. Your tone of voice communicates emotion, sometimes even more than your words. You can say the same sentence in different tones and create totally different meanings. For instance, say, "I'm fine," with a cheerful tone, and it sounds genuine. Say it with a flat tone, and it sounds like something's wrong. Being aware of your tone helps you control how others perceive your message. When you're calm, people listen. When you're aggressive, they resist. When you're enthusiastic, they feel your energy. Let's take an example. Imagine you're giving feedback to a team member. If you say, "You did this wrong," in a harsh tone, they'll likely become defensive. But if you say, "I think we can improve this part together," in a calm and encouraging tone, they'll feel supported instead of criticized. Practice managing your emotions before speaking. Take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and choose your words with care. The goal isn't to suppress your emotions, but to guide them wisely. Communication isn't just about speaking. It's about connecting with respect, empathy, and understanding. Tip 6. Develop emotional intelligence, EQ. Communication isn't just about words, it's about feelings. Emotional intelligence means being aware of your emotions, understanding others' emotions, and managing both in a healthy, respectful way. The best communicators are emotionally intelligent because they can read the mood of a conversation and respond appropriately. For example, imagine your friend is upset and complaining about something. A person with low emotional intelligence might say, "You're overreacting," or "It's not a big deal." But someone with high EQ would respond, "I can see why you feel that way. Do you want to talk about it?" The difference is empathy, and empathy creates connection. You can build emotional intelligence by observing your reactions in conversations. When you feel angry or defensive, pause before replying. Ask yourself, "Why am I feeling this way? What does the other person really mean?" This helps you avoid misunderstandings and keeps communication calm and productive. Another great exercise is to imagine yourself in the other person's position. How would you feel if you were them? When you learn to recognize and respect emotions, both yours and others, your communication becomes warmer, deeper, and more effective. People won't just hear you, they'll feel you. Tip 7. Practice active speaking and active listening together. Most people think communication is about talking, but it's actually about exchange. Active speaking means expressing your thoughts clearly and respectfully, while active listening means giving your full attention when someone else speaks. When you combine both, conversations flow naturally. Let's take an example. Suppose you're in a group discussion. Instead of waiting for your turn to speak, try to build on what others say. You might say, "That's a good point, and I'd like to add something." Or, "I understand your view, but have you considered this perspective?" This shows you're truly listening and thinking, not just waiting to talk. Practicing both skills also helps in public speaking. When you engage your audience through eye contact, gestures, or asking questions, you make them part of your message. They don't just listen, they participate. To practice this daily, have meaningful conversations. Ask people about their opinions, and when they speak, don't interrupt. Reflect their ideas back to them. Say, "So what you mean is." This technique, known as reflective listening, shows genuine understanding. Great communicators don't dominate conversations, they build them. Tip 8. Adapt your communication style. Every person and situation is different, and a good communicator knows how to adapt. The way you talk to your teacher isn't the same way you talk to your best friend, and it shouldn't be. Being flexible with your communication style shows maturity and awareness. For example, in a professional setting, your language should be clear, respectful, and concise. If your boss asks for your opinion, you might say, "In my view, we could improve this by." But with a friend, you can be more casual. "Hey, maybe we could try doing it like this." Adapting doesn't mean being fake. It means being appropriate. It's about understanding your audience, their background, culture, and expectations, and adjusting your tone, words, and body language to connect effectively. Here's a practical example. Imagine you're explaining a technical topic to someone who knows little about it. If you use jargon, they'll get confused. But if you simplify your words and give relatable examples, They'll understand and appreciate your clarity. The more adaptable you are, the more people will enjoy talking to you. You'll become that person who just gets it, someone everyone finds easy to talk to. Tip 9. Improve your storytelling skills. One of the most powerful ways to communicate is through stories. Humans love stories. They engage our emotions, imagination, and memory. That's why great speakers, teachers, and leaders use storytelling to explain ideas and inspire others. Think about it. If I say, never give up, it sounds like simple advice. But if I tell you the story of a man who failed 100 times before succeeding, you'll remember that lesson forever. Stories give meaning to messages. You can use storytelling in everyday communication too. If you're explaining a concept, include a short story or personal example. For instance, instead of saying teamwork is important, you could say, I remember a time when our team worked together on a project. At first, we disagreed, but by listening to each other, we achieved something better than we expected. That story turns a plain idea into an emotional connection. To practice, start collecting small stories from your life, books, or people you admire. When you speak, use them naturally to support your point. Remember, people forget facts, but they remember feelings. If your words can make someone feel something, they'll remember your message long after the conversation ends. Tip 10. Practice, practice, and keep learning. Finally, the most important tip of all, never stop practicing. Communication isn't a talent you're born with. It's a skill you build over time. Even the best speakers in the world once struggled. They became great through consistent effort. Start small. Talk to more people. Join discussions. Participate in presentations. Or record yourself speaking on camera. Each time you practice, you'll get better at expressing your thoughts and controlling your tone. A great way to improve is to reflect after every conversation. Ask yourself, did I express my thoughts clearly? Did I listen well? Was my tone appropriate? What can I do better next time? This self-awareness helps you grow faster. You can also learn from others. Watch TED Talks, listen to podcasts, or read speeches by great communicators. Notice how they use pauses, stories, and emotions to keep listeners engaged. Try to imitate and adapt their techniques until you find your own unique style. Remember, communication isn't just about talking well. It's about connecting deeply. Every person you meet is a new opportunity to learn, understand, and share. The more you practice, the more natural and confident you'll become. Now that you've learned the 10 key tips to boost your communication skills, let's go beyond the basics and explore how you can truly master them in your daily life. Remember, real communication is an art. It's a balance between speaking, listening, observing, and connecting. And the more consciously you practice, the more natural it becomes. Let's start by understanding something powerful. Communication reflects your mindset. If you think positively, you'll speak positively. If you believe in yourself, your confidence will show in your voice. But if you're constantly doubting yourself or fearing judgment, it will affect your tone, your energy, and even your posture. So, to be a great communicator, you must also work on your inner self, your thoughts, your emotions, and your attitude, building confidence through consistency. Confidence doesn't come from speaking perfectly. It comes from speaking repeatedly. The more you speak, the more natural it becomes. Start small. Talk to family members, classmates, or even yourself in front of a mirror. Record short voice clips or videos on your phone and listen to them. Notice how you sound. Is your tone friendly, clear, and expressive? Each time, make one small improvement. Here's a helpful daily exercise. Choose one topic each day, something simple like your favorite movie, a recent experience, or a news story. Talk about it for 2 minutes without stopping. Don't worry about mistakes. Just focus on expressing yourself. Over time, this will boost your fluency, reduce hesitation, and strengthen your speaking muscles. Also, surround yourself with good communicators. Listen to how confident people talk, how they greet others, how they tell stories, and how they respond. You'll notice they don't rush. They think, pause, and then speak with calm assurance. Try to model that behavior until it becomes part of your natural style. The power of daily reading and listening. Another key way to improve communication is through input, what you read and listen to. Reading books, articles, or even short stories builds your vocabulary, while listening to podcasts or motivational talks sharpens your understanding of tone and rhythm. For example, Read a page from a book aloud every day. This improves pronunciation and fluency. Or choose a podcast that inspires you. Listen carefully. And try to repeat a few sentences in the same tone. Mimicking helps your brain learn rhythm and expression naturally. Make reading and listening part of your daily routine. Even 15 minutes a day can transform your speaking style within a few months. Think of it like feeding your brain good communication food. The more quality input you give, the better your output becomes, turning listening into a superpower. Earlier, we discussed the importance of listening to understand. Let's take that further. Listening is more than staying silent. It's about being present. When you're truly focused, you notice the small details, the other person's tone, mood, and even unspoken emotions. Here's an example. Imagine your friend says, "I'm fine," but their voice sounds flat and their shoulders are low. If you're attentive, you'll sense that something's wrong. You might gently ask, "Are you sure? You don't sound fine." That kind of awareness builds trust instantly because the other person feels genuinely cared for. To practice, try active listening sessions. Next time someone talks to you, give them your full attention. No phone, no distractions, just eye contact and focus. When they finish speaking, summarize what you heard by saying, "So you're saying that." This shows them you were really listening and that their words matter. The magic of tone and expression. Your tone can turn an ordinary sentence into something powerful. For instance, if you say, "I believe in you," with genuine warmth, it inspires. But if you say the same words with no emotion, it loses meaning. That's why learning to control your tone is essential. A great exercise is mirror practice. Stand in front of a mirror and say sentences with different tones: confident, calm, excited, or serious. Watch your face and listen to your voice. You'll see how tone and facial expression work together. Another practice is reading quotes or motivational lines aloud with energy and feeling. Don't just say the words, feel them. This helps you develop vocal strength and emotional expression. Remember, communication isn't just about the mind. It's also about the heart. The more emotion you bring, the more impact you create. Improving through feedback. One of the best ways to grow is by asking for feedback. It takes courage, but it's worth it. Ask a teacher, a friend, or even a family member to listen to you speak or watch one of your videos. Then say, "Please tell me honestly, what did I do well, and what can I improve?" Constructive feedback helps you identify weak areas. Maybe your tone is too flat, your sentences too long, or your pace too fast. Each time you get feedback, make one specific change. Over time, these small improvements add up to big results. And remember, feedback isn't criticism. It's a gift. Every great communicator has mentors and critics who help them grow. So never be afraid to learn from others. The role of patience and persistence. Improving communication takes time. You won't wake up one morning suddenly speaking like a professional speaker. But every day you practice brings you one step closer. Be patient with yourself. Even if you make mistakes or forget words, it's okay. That's how learning happens. Remind yourself, every conversation is practice. Every mistake is a lesson. Every success, no matter how small, is progress. When you keep this mindset, you'll never lose motivation. Also, celebrate your progress. When you notice that you spoke more confidently today than last week, smile and say, "I'm improving." These small celebrations keep your journey exciting. Real-life example, the student who transformed. Let's look at a simple story. A student named Armin was shy and afraid to speak in class. Every time the teacher asked a question, he stayed silent because he was scared of making mistakes. One day, he decided to change. He started small, speaking just one sentence each day. Then he joined a speaking club, practiced in front of a mirror, and listened to podcasts daily. After a few months, he wasn't just speaking, he was leading discussions. People started asking for his advice because he had become confident, clear, and thoughtful. What changed? Not his intelligence, but his practice. Armin learned that communication is like a muscle. The more you train it, the stronger it grows. You can do the same. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Your daily communication routine. Here's a simple daily plan to keep improving your skills. Morning, 10 minutes read something aloud, a page from a book, an article, or a motivational quote. Focus on pronunciation and tone. Afternoon, 10 minutes. Listen to a short podcast or a YouTube talk in English. Try to repeat a few sentences to improve your rhythm. Evening, 10 minutes. Record yourself speaking for 2 minutes on any topic, your day, your goals, or something that inspires you. Listen and notice areas for improvement. Throughout the day, when you talk to people, practice being fully present. Listen carefully, make eye contact, and respond with empathy. If you follow this simple 30-minute daily routine, you'll notice huge changes in just a few weeks. The final thought of this section: communication is the bridge between your ideas and the world. It's how you express your truth, build relationships, and influence others. Whether you want to be a leader, a teacher, a content creator, or simply someone who connects better with people, mastering communication will empower you to reach your highest potential. Remember, confidence grows with practice. Empathy builds connection, and clarity creates impact. Keep learning, keep practicing, and one day, you'll look back and realize that your voice, once uncertain, now inspires others. As we come to the final part of this journey, let's take a moment to reflect. You've learned 10 powerful tips to boost your communication skills, explored deeper insights, and discovered practical exercises to put these tips into action. But now, it's time to internalize the most important lesson. Communication is more than words, it's a way of life. It reflects your confidence, empathy, mindset, and determination. Why communication matters in every aspect of life. Think about it. Whether you want to succeed in school, advance in your career, build meaningful friendships, or lead a team, your ability to communicate effectively will make the difference. Great ideas mean nothing if you cannot share them clearly. Powerful thoughts remain silent if you cannot express them. Dreams stay dreams unless you inspire others to believe in them. For example, consider someone applying for a job. They might have all the skills and knowledge in the world, but if they cannot confidently express themselves during an interview, they risk being overlooked. On the other hand, a person with slightly less technical skill but excellent communication can impress, persuade, and leave a lasting impression. Communication amplifies everything you do. It's the multiplier of success. The power of storytelling in life. Stories are the magic of communication. Every great speaker, leader, and influencer understands this. Stories capture attention, create emotional connections, and make your message unforgettable. And here's the best part. Everyone has stories. Your life experiences, lessons learned, successes, failures, and even simple daily moments can become stories that teach, inspire, or entertain. Let's take an example. Imagine you want to motivate your team. Instead of saying, "We need to work harder," you tell a story. Last year, our team faced a huge challenge. We had limited time, but by working together and supporting each other, we achieved something incredible. That same spirit exists in this team today. Notice how much more powerful that is than just giving instructions. So practice storytelling. Observe life around you, reflect on experiences, and learn to weave them naturally into conversations. Your stories will not only make you a better communicator, but also a memorable one. Daily habits for communication mastery. Consistency is the key. If you want to master communication, you must treat it like a daily practice. Here are some habits to incorporate into your life. Daily reflection. After every conversation or interaction, ask yourself, what went well? What could I have done better? This reflection will build awareness and accelerate growth. Reading and listening. Every day, consume content that inspires and educates. Books, podcasts, speeches, anything that exposes you to new ideas and ways of expression. Practice speaking. Take 5 to 10 minutes daily to talk aloud about your day, a topic you enjoy, or a lesson learned. The more you speak, the more fluent and confident you become. Observe others. Watch how skilled communicators speak. Notice their body language, tone, pauses, and storytelling. Learn from them and adapt the best techniques to your style. Engage with empathy when interacting with others. Focus on understanding, not just replying. Show genuine interest and respect. People will remember how you made them feel more than the words you said. Handling fear and nervousness. One of the biggest barriers to communication is fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of mistakes. Fear of being misunderstood. Everyone feels it, even professional speakers. The difference is that they learn to manage it. Here's a practical technique. Before any important conversation or presentation, take a deep breath and visualize success. Imagine yourself speaking clearly, confidently, and connecting with your audience. Replace fear with excitement. The energy you feel can be channeled into dynamic, engaging communication. Also, remind yourself that mistakes are part of learning. If you stumble over words or forget a point, it's okay. Pause, smile, and continue. People appreciate authenticity more than perfection. Every small mistake is a stepping stone to mastery. The role of empathy and connection. At the heart of all effective communication is empathy. Your words are powerful, but your ability to connect emotionally is what makes them unforgettable. When you listen deeply, respond thoughtfully, and understand the perspective of others, you create bonds that last. For instance, a leader who communicates with empathy can motivate teams, resolve conflicts, and inspire loyalty. A teacher who listens and responds to students' concerns creates an environment where learning thrives. And in personal relationships, empathy ensures understanding, reduces misunderstandings, and strengthens bonds. Real-life example, from shy to confident. Consider another story. A young woman named Layla was shy and reserved. She avoided speaking in public because she feared judgment, but she committed to practicing communication daily. She started small, talking to family, recording herself, reading aloud, and participating in small group discussions. Over months, Layla's confidence grew. She could now speak fluently in front of a large audience, connect with people from different backgrounds, and express her ideas with clarity and emotion. What changed? Not her personality, but her habits, mindset, and consistent practice. Layla's story shows that anyone, yes, anyone, can become a confident communicator with dedication and effort. The transformational power of communication. Mastering communication is transformative. It doesn't just improve how others perceive you, it transforms how you perceive yourself. You become more confident, more aware, more empathetic, and more capable of achieving your goals. Communication empowers you to influence, inspire, and lead. It turns ideas into action, thoughts into connection, and dreams into reality. Think about the world's most successful leaders, entrepreneurs, and influencers. What do they have in common? Beyond skills and intelligence, they all master the art of communication. They know how to express themselves, connect with audiences, and leave a lasting impact. And the good news is, you can do the same. Your call to action. Now it's your turn. Take everything you've learned, the 10 tips, the daily exercises, the mindset shifts, and start applying them. Begin small. Speak confidently. Listen deeply, adapt your style, tell stories, and practice consistently. Each day, focus on one small improvement. Over time, these small steps will lead to massive transformation. Write down your goals for communication. Maybe it's speaking confidently in class, making new friends, or giving a presentation without fear. Track your progress, celebrate small wins, and keep learning. Remember, mastery is a journey, not a destination. Final motivational words. I want you to remember this. Your words have power. Every conversation is an opportunity to inspire, connect, and make a difference. The skills you build today will shape your relationships, your career, and your life. Don't underestimate the impact of clear, confident, and empathetic communication. Believe in yourself. Practice every day. Embrace mistakes as lessons. Listen more than you speak. Speak with clarity, emotion, and intention. And above all, connect from the heart.